This is Kampala, the capital city of Uganda. It's the country's economic, political and social hub. Like other cities around the world, Kampala is experiencing a rapid population growth. To date, it has a population of 3.5 million, projected to grow to 10 million in the next 10 years. People, especially the youth, are migrating to the city in search of better jobs, services and opportunities. Because the majority are poor and can hardly afford a decent living, they end up in informal settlements. This growth is visible through the mushrooming informal settlements across Kampala. People living here face many complex issues including poverty, poor housing, poor solid waste management, poor sanitation, poor hygiene, poor drainage and high crime rate, to mention but a few. With these issues, Kampala can end up being a lot like a battleground. To make ends meet, some youth in the informal settlements engage in a number of income-generating activities like food vending, blacksmithing, retail business, hairdressing, to mention but a few. Despite their endeavors, many more youth are struggling with unemployment. When young people are unemployed and poor, they become desperate and can easily get overwhelmed by discontent and predictability. This makes them vulnerable to forces of conflict, including radicalization. Due to unemployment, the youth have increasingly been linked to restless intercommunal conflicts and violent extremism.
The use of drugs, especially among the youth in some of the slum areas, it's been a common practice, and we are losing the leaders of tomorrow because people engage themselves because they have a lot of idle time, they don't have employment, so they end up, mismanaging themselves.
Government of Uganda, through Kampala City Council Authority and other partners, are implementing a number of projects to engage the youth. For example, KCCA Chanja Agricultural Resource Center, the Youth Center in Kabalagala, and the KCCA Employment Services Bureau are working to equip over 3,000 youth with employable skills.
What we are doing as the city planners is to ensure that we actually empower these youth. We may not have all the cash we need to ensure that we give everybody a startup capital, but we are skilling people.
But this has not completely addressed the challenges because stakeholders are competing with each other, are under-resourced and are working independently. Interestingly, youth have untapped talents that could tremendously transform their lives. Sports is one of the talents that could engage the youth by keeping them physically, psychologically and emotionally productive. However, the nature of sports infrastructure available in the informal settlements undermines the development of sports. Although some communities have made provisions for different games, the structures cannot effectively meet the demand and potential.
Of course, investment and prioritization in infrastructure development for sport will actually take us a long way. It still remains a challenge, but we know that we have to invest in it, we have to focus our energies into it, we have to look for partners and make it happen, because we know it can happen.
It is for that reason that the Leadership Foundation Uganda chapter, together with KCCA, FUBA and other leaders of good faith and goodwill, are launching a project to develop structured sports in informal communities.
We are first of all very happy as the city administrators that we can get people to think about Kampala and to think about Uganda. The only way people succeed is through the power of connection, is through the power of networking, is through partnerships. So we are happy for anybody that is coming to Kampala to invest especially in sports infrastructure. This is a great partnership, and we are looking forward to it. We know that once it takes off, it will change millions of lives.
The project will include the construction of 14 basketball courts in different parts of Kampala city, construction of a youth leadership center, and provision of menstrual hygiene services.
What we'd strive to do as a federation is to make partnerships like this one with the Leadership Foundation, where we have the opportunity and avenue to take this game to players who have not, kids who haven't played it before, and whilst we are to teach the game of basketball and teach them life skills that we think they learn from playing in a team sport.
These are some of the opportunities that we think our people need, and once they are equipped, they will be able to run their lives and become responsible people, other than engaging or letting them to engage in drug abuse.
The project will create a robust city sports system where stakeholders in the city will bring together leaders of good faith and will to build capacities and promote collaborations through effective leadership.
The game in itself needs to be taught. And for us as leaders, our job is to make sure we create the teachers of this game and then send them out to teach the game, and whilst they're doing so, give these children who are playing other life skills. The game of basketball is dependent on infrastructure. Unlike soccer, where you just need to kick a bottle around until the sun comes up, this game requires a basketball court, requires hoops, requires a backboard, the players, and we are keen to working with Leadership Foundation to use these courts to teach the game of basketball and to teach life skills.
It is through this approach that the Leadership Foundation will make a significant contribution towards providing services of equipping leaders and organizations to drive permanent change in Kampala. The Leadership Foundation will work with all leaders of good faith to transform the city, empowering the youth in Kampala to love their city and make it a city of transformation for everyone.